Okay, welcome to another episode. This is the Unconquered Fam podcast where, you know, positivity is the premise, love is the source, and the outcome is peace. Hopefully, peace for everybody, whatever that means to you. Um, Today I want to talk to something that is probably going to hit a lot of people. Matter of fact, I'm sure, this one is going to hit a lot of people in the chest, but it's okay because that's what it's all about. A lot of people don't really know who they are or think they're something they're not, and it's an issue now more than ever in this this day of technology and social media presence and everything. It's heavier now than it ever has been before, and I've been through kind of the perspective of seeing the early stages of the internet, from like the brick cell phone with Snake and everything on it to the old Blackberries to this very day where we're on the internet and I'm doing Facebook Live. So, and there's other people that's even seen more of the evolution than I have. And I urge everyone to really dig down deep and figure out exactly who you are. If you're a J. Cole fan, you probably heard the song Love Yours. And if you haven't, then I suggest you go listen to that. Time and time again, like I said before, people who have been in our shoes and know where we're trying to go have a good idea of um, what matters in the grand scheme of things. So many of our aspirations come from wanting more for ourselves or comparing ourselves to other people, and we pull from those people who have those things for inspiration or guidance and how to get there, which is perfectly fine. But a lot of times down the line, people can lose themselves and never really figure out who they are in the first place, and that can be disheartening or mentally rough. And then you end up with suicidal people or depressed people. And here at Unconquered Fam, we're going to develop whole people, not just this one idea we have about ourselves or these these events that happen to us that we feel might define so much of who we are. We're a lot more than just one event or one idea. So without further ado, let's jump into it. From a positivity perspective, the first thing I want you to really look at on a positive note, if you're going through this so-called identity crisis, if you already seen the title, if not, you're just joining in. But um, is that it's never too late, and it's better to start now, like today, like this very second. It's better to start right now, and just like anything, this takes time. If you're at this point, please understand that the hardest thing about this point is taking a step towards actually figuring out yourself. It's a trial and error game, but those who actually start sooner can make better decisions down the line for themselves. You can't help someone without first helping yourself, and a lot of people would try to call that selfish, but it's not, because a mother can't feed her child if she hasn't put the necessary nutrients in her body, to produce the milk that would in turn help that child develop properly. At times, helping yourself can be the most unselfish thing you're actually doing. So, at times, helping yourself can be the most unselfish thing you're actually doing. So, pray for a discerning spirit so that you can decide at certain times what you can and shouldn't do or should do in certain situations. The second point I want to make that should hit home is that you can cultivate slash manifest whatever you want, but it has to align with your spirit. And this goes beyond I'm extroverted or I'm introverted, etc. This is the thing you can't run from. This is the no matter how much I try to get into cars, because everyone where I'm from has a vested interest in cars, I can't shake this love for painting, or I can't shake this love for building businesses, or I can't shake this love I have for cooking. These are the things that are ingrained in you, and some people figure these things out at an early age and some people don't until later. But unless you're in the industry such as like athletics, where you have only so much time to actually play because of age and body wear and tear or something like that, then you have an upside to what you want to do. And even then, in most of those cases, if even with the body wear and tear and the age time frame that you have, you can still be in those industries in a different capacity after you finish, one one realm of it, I guess. So, but it's up to you to cultivate the seeds that you plant within yourself, and some roots are going to catch and then other roots won't, and you'll be able to tell by the fruit you get out of what you're trying to manifest. But it starts with, with the source of this podcast actually is, and that's love. So we go into love, the love portion of the podcast, and I think this is where it's really gonna hit a lot of people in the chest. Is you got to sit back and really be real with yourself. You are the only person that you can't lie to. You can lie to your friends, you can lie to your family, you can lie to your dog, but you can't lie to yourself. And it's sometimes a hard pill to swallow, but there's a silver lining in this, and that's that there's is progress in the pain. And you have to understand that people only willingly go through pain for something or someone they love. But what is happening is people that don't love themselves enough to sit and say, I'm bullshitting. And that doesn't just affect them. I was watching a recent episode of Grey's Anatomy, and I saw that this one lady was arguing with her mom. She says, I want my mom back. And her mom basically tells her she can't apologize for who she's become since whatever situation happened that caused her to make a change in her life. And I know it's just TV, but I thought about it in that moment. What if she had always known who she was and had been taking steps towards knowing or bettering herself in whatever areas she needed to change? Would this still be a conversation she was having in that moment? And of course, like everything, nothing is black and white, but it brings me to my next point pertaining to love is you can change in a lot of ways. My suggestion is take it back to the earliest form of yourself that you can remember. Think about those core qualities that make you who you are. Think about, how they've grown or how they've diminished over the years. Think about what you've learned about yourself, and then focus on how to take a step forward towards being better at that. Because you can't trade lives with your favorite celebrity, athlete, or business owner. But you can become a celebrity by expressing yourself through your own art form or an art form. You can become a great athlete in your own right, or you can own your business doing something you love. It's not impossible, but having it and being able to enjoy the fruits of your labor from the smallest harvest to the largest harvest isn't probable unless you understand exactly who you are. It's like when I see a certain football play being run or a certain baseball situation happening in a game, I can appreciate so much more of what ensues from those situations because I know more than the average person about that game or what's going on. So it gives me a different perspective. One, because those two sports are a part of who I am. That's what I've done, and that's what I can understand and appreciate. So me knowing me allows me to appreciate something that's going on, whether I was playing or not. But if I'm playing, it allows me to appreciate something that's going on in the game because now I know how to react. And if I'm not playing, it allows me to appreciate what's going on because I've been a part of that before and I can enjoy it. So understanding myself helped me enjoy something else. So to get to the peace portion of the podcast today, I think in order to keep your peace when it comes to this identity crisis that people are having out here today, you have to understand what grace is. None of us are deserving of the grace we receive in our lives. Whether you're spiritual or not, grace has been shown to you in some form or another. It's a gift that sometimes is explainable and sometimes isn't explainable, but it's always sufficient in terms of when we receive it. But the world doesn't owe us anything. We owe it to ourselves to do right by the multiple chances and forgiveness that we receive. And we need to embrace that it's not going to be easy, but when you really start figuring out these things about yourself, you get strength out of understanding and you understand who you are more, and it's a different type of strength mentally. It's a different mental strength that you receive from sitting down and digging deep into your own self, your own existence, and really understanding how you've come along. So as I mentioned before, you can't trade lives with people, so stop comparing it. You aren't me, I'm not you. If I have something you want, I have to figure out, you know, how to cultivate more, and you have to figure out how to get what I have in your own way, or you know, do some of the things that I might have done. But the fact of the matter is that, you know, it's possible for a CEO, a businessman, an athlete, a politician to live in the same neighborhood, and that's encouraging because that kind of cultivation is achievable. But the ones who have a better chance of enduring the hardships and losses on the way to these harvests are the ones who plant good roots within themselves. So I encourage you to sit down, figure out who you've been, who you are now, and who you plan to become. Look yourself in the mirror and not condemn yourself, because grace already exists, so you don't have to condemn yourself. So you can, you know, start to understand that you are human, and then take steps necessary towards, you know, being a better you, so you can teach someone else how to walk a path that is of themselves and not one that people portray on TV or elsewhere. You know, it's real life, real people, real progress, and that's what I think can really start to help people take steps in the right direction. Because, like I said, it's a lot of gray area when it comes to identifying who you are. It's a lot of great areas in terms of people's situation, but the one thing you can't do is sit and lie to yourself and think that you're something you're not. You can cultivate and be whatever you want, but you have to understand the action comes behind that, and there are consequences for each action. You know, it's I put in this much work, I can't get that time back. Time is priceless. Time is really valuable. That's what people pay for. We gave up privacy and a lot of other things for convenience of time. You know, it's a lot of ups and downs that you have to maneuver through when you're trying to figure out exactly who you are and how you should be. And it's not an easy process, but taking a step in the right direction is the hardest part. Once you start taking steps, it's just like a train rolling down tracks on a hill. One creep, two creep, keep creeping, and it's just you build momentum, and it's hard to stop that momentum in the right direction. The same way it's hard to stop the momentum in the wrong direction. But in order to stop the momentum in the wrong direction, you have to take a step in the other direction. So I influence everybody. Well, I encourage everybody to take steps in the right direction in terms of figuring out who you are. Sit down and really spend some time with yourself. And I'm not saying don't look up to people, or want something that somebody else has, or want to try to achieve or even surpass certain goals that, you know, um, mentors or people you look up to have achieved. I'm not saying don't go after that at all. I'm saying do it within yourself and evolve within yourself, and really have your own identity. Stop looking at Instagram and saying, "Oh man, I wish I was here doing this," or stop looking at Twitter, because that might be the most negative place. I don't even halfway get on Twitter anymore. I'm about to really just get on Instagram only to post pictures about this, and just certain pictures that are relevant to, you know, maybe a night out or something. If I have fun, or I just want to post a picture, but I'm post a picture, log off, delete the app until I'm ready to get back on it. So I encourage everybody to do something of that nature if that's what it takes. If not, do whatever it takes to really dive deep within yourself and figure out who you are, because there's a lot of depressed people out here hiding behind smiles, and there's a lot of false I don't really know how to put it, but there's a lot of falsified images, I would say, that people are putting themselves out here on social media. They're putting on for social media and not living real life. So go live real life, make moves, be happy, and if you decide to share it on social media, understand that, you know, it should be genuine. Share exactly what's going on. Be within yourself when you share, because if you're sharing for the purpose of trying to compare or look like somebody else, then you're not living. Like I said, real people, real progress, real lives. I'm out.